Ignore him. Not out of spite, not out of ego, but because your dark desire is calling, and it's louder than his opinions, his absence, his approval. You feel it, don't you? That quiet fire under your skin that refuses to be dimmed. The world told you to be good, to be quiet, to wait your turn. But your desire, your real, raw, untamed desire, has been waiting for you to wake up. Ignore him, not out of hate, not out of pride, but because your dark desire, the one that keeps you awake at night, whispering that you were made for more, is calling. You've ignored it for too long. You've silenced it under other people's comfort, opinions, and expectations. You've convinced yourself that staying quiet, staying small, staying agreeable was safer. But that fire inside you, it's not dying, it's growing. Every time someone tells you you're too much, it grows stronger. Every time life tries to break you down, it burns hotter. Desire is not your enemy, it's your invitation to rise. They told you desire is dangerous, that ambition makes you selfish, that wanting too much makes you ungrateful. But who benefits from that lie? The people who fear your strength, the ones who are comfortable watching you shrink. Society doesn't fear women or men who are quiet, it fears the ones who want more. Because desire is rebellion. Desire says, I will not accept less than what I'm capable of. And when you embrace it, when you look it in the eye and say, I choose you, you become unstoppable. Not because you're fearless, but because you're finally honest. Desire is the pulse of your purpose. It's the electricity that moves through your soul every time you dream. You feel it when you picture yourself standing on the edge of your greatness, the version of you who's unapologetically alive. That spark, that's not fantasy. That's your truth trying to break through the walls of fear and conformity. You don't need anyone to hand it to you. It's already inside you, waiting to be unleashed. The moment you decide to honor it, your life starts to shift. You stop chasing validation and you start chasing vision. You stop asking, what will they think, and start asking, what will I become? The world will try to make you doubt your desire. It will call it greed, arrogance, or delusion. But that's because most people are terrified of their own. They traded their fire for comfort, their courage for approval. And when they see your spark, it reminds them of everything they've buried. So they'll try to talk you down. They'll say, be realistic. They'll say, that's not how life works. But what they really mean is, don't remind me of the dreams I gave up on. You owe it to yourself not to listen. Your desire isn't dangerous, it's divine. It's your compass pointing toward your purpose, your calling, your destiny. Every great story begins with desire. The desire to create, the desire to love, the desire to become. Without it, there's no movement, no growth, no life. Desire is the mother of all transformation. It takes courage to follow it because it demands everything. It asks you to let go of comfort, to walk into uncertainty, to stand in your truth even when no one claps. It's not polite, it's not quiet, but it's real. And when you start walking with it, when you choose your calling over your comfort, you start living a life that feels like it's truly yours. You become magnetic, not because you're perfect, but because you're aligned. So don't dim that light. Don't apologize for wanting more. Wanting more doesn't mean you're ungrateful, it means you're alive. It means your soul is awake, reaching for the edges of possibility. The world doesn't need more people who play it safe. It needs more people who dare to burn. People who look at their fear and say, I see you, but I'm still going. People who choose passion over permission. People who build, create, and rise because their desire refuses to let them settle. That's who you are meant to be, not the version the world approves. Vis of the version that sets the world on fire, you will be misunderstood. You will be doubted. You will be told to slow down, to soften, to be satisfied. Ignore them. Ignore the noise, the doubt, the guilt. Because the truth is, you don't owe anyone comfort. You owe yourself freedom. And freedom comes when you stop fighting your desire and start following it. You were not made to exist in the shadows. You were born to create light. You were not built to play small. You were built to move mountains. And the moment you let your desire lead, those mountains will move. Desire is not darkness, it's direction. It's the map of your soul guiding you back home. The part of you that wants more isn't broken, it's brilliant. It's your proof that there's something greater waiting for you, something that belongs only to you, and you will never find it by following their rules. You'll find it when you break them, when you stop waiting for permission and start writing your own, when you let your hunger, your curiosity, your relentless drive take center stage. That's when life starts to feel electric. That's when every breath, every choice, every heartbeat becomes purpose. When you embrace your desire, you stop apologizing for being alive. You stop making yourself small to make others comfortable. You stop mistaking politeness for peace. You start standing taller, speaking louder, living freer. You start to understand that your desire is not something to hide, it's something to harness. It's not a curse, it's your crown. And once you wear it, the world will have no choice but to see you. Not the version of you that fits in, but the version of you that stands out. The version that dares, the version that leads, the version that changes everything. So ignore him, ignore the opinions, the whispers, the expectations. Listen to your dark desire. Let it lead you. Let it break you open. Let it show you who you were always meant to be. Because your desire isn't here to destroy you, it's here to awaken you. The world doesn't need another person who fits in. It needs you, burning with truth, alive with purpose, unstoppable in your pursuit of more. You are not too much. You are not too bold. You are exactly as powerful as your desire dares to be. And the moment you choose it, your real life begins. You keep waiting for someone to see you, to understand you, to recognize what you bring to the table. You keep waiting for the world to give you permission, to tell you that you're ready, that you've done enough, that it's your time. But here's the truth most people never want to hear. No one is coming. No one is going to knock on your door and hand you your destiny. No one will show up one morning and tell you that you've earned the right to live your dreams. Life doesn't work like that. Permission isn't given, it's claimed. Every person who ever built something extraordinary didn't wait to be chosen. They decided they were worthy, long before anyone else believed it. That's where real power begins, with the decision. The moment you stop waiting to be picked, and instead choose yourself, everything changes. You were conditioned to believe you needed approval. From parents, from teachers, from bosses, from lovers. They taught you to play small because it made you easier to control. But you're not a child anymore. You don't need validation to breathe, to create, to rise. You've been kneeling at the altar of other people's opinions for too long, worshipping their comfort while betraying your own potential. Stop waiting for someone to give you what you've already earned. Stop letting hesitation wear the mask of humility. You don't need to ask the world for permission to exist fully. You need to remember that you already belong here. Every time you doubt yourself, you hand your power to someone else. Every time you second guess your worth, you build their throne with your silence. But the throne was always meant for you. The truth is, nobody is qualified to tell you who you are or what you're capable of. Nobody knows the fire that burns in your chest, the sleepless nights you've endured, the quiet battles you've won just to stand here today. They don't see the storms you've survived, they only see the surface. And because they can't understand your depth, they underestimate your power. But that's not your problem. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your ambition. You don't need to justify your hunger to those who are afraid to feel their own. You don't need to convince anyone that you deserve more. You just need to go get it. Because the moment you start acting like you belong, the world adjusts. Power isn't taken, it's recognized. But it starts with you, recognizing it first. You think humility means silence, that being humble means shrinking. But humility isn't about denying your greatness. It's about owning it without arrogance. It's about knowing your value and moving with grace, even when others don't understand it. True humility doesn't mean dimming your light. It means standing in it without needing applause. When you know who you are, you don't beg to be seen. You shine regardless. That's the energy of someone who has stopped asking for permission. That's the power of someone who knows they can build their own table if none exists. The world doesn't remember those who waited quietly. It remembers those who dared to step forward. Those who said, if the door won't open, I'll build my own. That's not ego, that's evolution. Every time you wait for permission, you waste time that could have built your dream. Every time you second guess your worth, you delay your destiny. You think you're being cautious, but what you're really doing is hiding. And the world doesn't reward hiding, it rewards those who risk being seen. The ones who walk into rooms like they belong there, because they do. Stop apologizing for your vision. Stop softening your edges to fit into places that were never meant for you. The world will tell you to wait your turn, but your turn is now. The world will tell you to slow down, but your speed is your signature. The people who told you to be realistic were only projecting their own limits onto you. You owe them nothing, not your time, not your energy, not your belief. So from this moment forward, stop waiting, stop asking for permission to be brilliant, bold and unstoppable. You are not an understudy in your own story. You are the main character. You don't need validation to begin. You don't need approval to evolve. You don't need applause to know your worth. You just need to move. Decide that your vision matters. Decide that your voice deserves to be heard. Decide that you will no longer shrink to fit inside someone else's comfort zone. Because every minute you spend waiting for the world to catch up to your greatness is a minute you could be building it. You've waited long enough. It's time to step forward, take the stage of your own life, and own the power that was always yours. And you were never meant to beg for permission. You were meant to give it to yourself. You are not here to please, you are here to lead. So stop waiting for validation from people who can't even see their own potential. Step into your power, not tomorrow, not someday, today. The world doesn't belong to those who wait, it belongs to those who move. And when you move with conviction, with clarity, with fire in your soul, everything you've been waiting for starts moving toward you. The time is now. The permission is yours. The only question left is, will you take it? You've been taught that silence is strength, that swallowing your words makes you noble, that keeping peace, even at the cost of your truth, is the right thing to do. But silence isn't strength, it's surrender. Every time you bite your tongue to avoid making someone uncomfortable, you betray yourself a little more. Every time you stay quiet when your soul is screaming to speak, you build another wall between who you are and who the world sees. Real strength isn't in your ability to endure, it's in your courage to express. Your voice is not a weapon, it's a bridge. It connects your inner world to the outer one. And when you silence that connection, you disconnect from your own power. There's this illusion that silence keeps things peaceful. But peace built on silence is not peace, it's pressure. It's a ticking clock waiting to explode. You cannot build harmony by burying your truth. Because buried truth doesn't disappear. It rots, festers, and turns into resentment. How many times have you smiled when you wanted to scream? How many times have you said, I'm fine, when you were breaking inside? You thought you were being strong, but you were really carrying a weight that was never meant to be yours alone. Speaking up doesn't make you difficult, it makes you honest. And honesty, no matter how uncomfortable, is always the beginning of real freedom. We've been told to admire those who can take it, the ones who endure without complaint, who stay calm when the world burns around them. But endurance without expression isn't power, it's paralysis. When you hold back your truth, you suffocate your growth. The world changes because people dare to speak, not because they sit in silence. Think of every revolution, every movement, every transformation that ever happened. It started because someone refused to stay quiet. Someone stood up and said, enough. And the moment they did, the world started to shift. That's what your voice can do. It doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be all yours. Your silence serves those who benefit from your obedience. The more you mute yourself, the easier you are to control. The moment you speak, you disrupt. And yes, disruption is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It's how change begins. The truth is, your voice will not always be welcomed. Some people will resist it, some will reject it, some will walk away. But that's okay. Because your voice isn't meant to please, it's meant to awaken. Every time you speak your truth, you give someone else permission to do the same. Your courage echoes. It creates ripples in places you'll never see. And one day, someone will find their strength because you found yours first. The fear of speaking up is ancient. It's rooted in rejection, in survival, in generations taught to stay quiet, to stay safe. But those days are over. You are not here to repeat the silence of those before you. You are here to break it. You are the voice your ancestors wished they could use. You are the change they dreamed of becoming. The power you carry in your words can rebuild worlds. So don't waste it trying to sound polite when your soul wants to roar. Speak your truth even when your voice shakes. Speak even when it costs you comfort. Because silence may feel safe, but it's a cage. And no one ever learned to fly by living in one. You owe it to yourself to speak, not to be understood, but to be free. To tell your story, to claim your space, to make noise in a world that told you to be quiet. You don't have to scream, but you do have to stand. Because the moment you stop swallowing your truth, you stop shrinking. And the moment you stop shrinking, the world starts to expand around you. The right people will hear you, the right doors will open, the right energy will rise. But none of that can happen until you choose your voice over your silence. You are not here to endure quietly. You are here to live loudly, boldly, unapologetically, as the full expression of your truth. So stop mistaking silence for strength. Strength is not how much you can suppress. It's how much truth you can stand to speak. You are not a mirror reflecting other people's comfort. You are a flame meant to ignite your own freedom. Speak even if your voice trembles. Speak even if no one claps. Speak because your words carry weight and your silence carries chains. The world doesn't need your quiet obedience. It needs your courageous authenticity. The moment you open your mouth and let your truth pour out, you don't just change your life, you change the vibration of everything around you. Your voice is your revolution. Don't let it die unspoken. Pain. It's the one thing we all try to escape. The one thing we label as weakness, as failure, as something to be ashamed of. We spend our lives running from it, burying it under distractions, disguising it with smiles, silencing it with busyness. But what if pain isn't punishment? What if pain is a teacher, a guide, a portal to your power? Every scar you carry, every heartbreak you've endured, every dark night you thought would never end, it wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to shape you. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your alchemist. It takes everything heavy, everything broken, and transforms it into gold. If you let it, you see, there's something sacred about pain. It forces you to pause, to see yourself stripped of illusions, stripped of roles, stripped of everything that isn't real. Pain removes the noise. It peels away the layers of who you thought you had to be, until all that's left is who you truly are. When everything falls apart, it's not the end, it's an unveiling. Because that's when you meet your rawest, most honest self. You meet the version of you that doesn't need validation, doesn't chase perfection, doesn't beg to be seen. You meet the warrior underneath the wounds, the one who rises not because it's easy, but because she refuses to stay down. That's the beauty hidden in pain. It introduces you to your power. We think pain breaks us, but it doesn't. It breaks the shell around us. It cracks open the walls we've built just to survive. And yes, it hurts, it burns, it bleeds, it feels unbearable, but it's in that breaking where the light finally gets in. Without pain, you'd never grow. Without loss, you'd never learn gratitude. Without heartbreak, you'd never know the depth of love. Pain gives meaning to the joy that follows. It refines you, it stretches you, it teaches you to hold both suffering and strength in the same breath. When you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? You reclaim your power. Because now you're not a victim of what happened. You're a creator of what's next. Some people let pain define them. They wear it like an identity, build a home inside it and call it safety. But pain was never meant to be a place to live. It was meant to be a place to pass through. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who evolve isn't the absence of pain. It's how they use it. You can let it poison you, or you can let it purify you. You can let it make you bitter, or you can let it make you brave. The pain that once made you question your worth can become the very thing that proves it. Because survival itself is power. Every time you rise after being broken, you send a message to the universe, and I am not finished. You become a living, breathing reminder that pain cannot destroy what's meant to rise. Your pain is proof that you've lived deeply, that you've cared, that you've dared, that you've shown up when you could have turned away. You've loved enough to lose, believed enough to fall, risked enough to get hurt, and that means you're still in the game. The world doesn't need people who've never fallen. It needs those who've fallen and still found the strength to stand. Your scars are not shame. They're symbols of survival. They are reminders that even at your weakest, you refuse to give up. Don't hide them. Honor them. Because the people who inspire others aren't the ones who've lived without pain. They're the ones who've turned it into purpose. They've taken what tried to destroy them and used it to light the path for others still trapped in the dark. So stop running from your pain. Sit with it. Listen to it. Let it speak to you. Pain doesn't show up to ruin your life. It shows up to realign it. It shows up to tell you that something within you is ready to change. You are stronger, wiser,